we are going to give another breaking news. So here's the cover for WWE 2K25. Roman Reigns, and
Heyman in there too. Heyman made the cover too. Paul. That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna start streaming this shit with plenty and pixel art.
Oh man!
So Hulk Hogan absolutely bombed, got booed. Everyone's divided on this. They're saying it's not the political stuff. After I sat on it and I thought about it, I kind of do agree. My mind's changed on it, but I do maintain it is sort of, it's got to be one aspect when you're in LA a little bit, right? Because here's the thing. I talked about this with Chris Connor. People were saying, well, Undertaker didn't get booed. Yeah, but like, dude, Trump came out at the Republican National Convention and did like a speech. Not everyone saw the Mark Calloway 6 Feet Deep podcast. Like not everyone saw. You understand? Like the RNC thing was like everywhere. People were roasting Hulkster on CNN and every day for a minute. Everything that was going on at those rallies and stuff. So
and he wears like the MAGA Power shirt, and then just every recent.
So that I think in LA, when you're in LA, Jake, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You're with you. I mean. Yeah, like it has to be.
I lived in North Hollywood for 6 years or for 5 years.
Saying,
so yeah,
bro,
I
they
fully
don't fuck
get it.
Around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure a bunch of them didn't like listen to Mark Calloway's podcast. That's like the wrestling marks do that, you know?
Yeah.
So this is all I'm telling you, okay?
And that was not the show for the wrestling marks. That was a show that was an event you wanted to be at. That's why the tickets were so expensive. Like it makes perfect sense why that crowd would boo Hulk Hogan.
But here's the thing, though.
Terry Bollea.
Right. And here's the thing, though. I agree. Now, with that being said, though, I just wanted to preface with that. But that being said, I think that is one of the least factors of why. I think the other things are more of the factor, but it is an accumulative thing about why people are like, bah humbug when it comes to Hulk Hogan. I think it's all the stuff over the years. End of the day, he got booed out of the building. Pretty much universally. I saw Jose the assistant shout him out. He tweeted out, he's like, what I love is that doesn't matter if you like AEW or New Japan or WWE, everyone can agree Hulk Hogan sucks or whatever.
The Iron Sheik has been justified.
He tweets out, it was something like they do the Iron Sheik gimmick, which is hilarious to keep the Iron Sheik alive. Like since Iron Sheik's been passed on, you know, they've been keeping the gimmick alive on X and everything. It's hilarious.
It's
and
fantastic.
So he's like, Hulk Hogan, whatever he said, that first tweet. And dude, it got like 4 million impressions.
It was the fuck Hulk Hogan then, now, forever.
Yeah,
together.
dude. And it was like
so good. I retweeted it right away.
How many likes did it have? And it had like 4.5 million impressions or something like that. Like, tell me wrestling ain't mainstream again. And
right?
You know? That's crazy, bro. Can it be as simple as Hogan said the N-word freely for all to see? Yes. Then Big E and black wrestlers say his comments backstage were half-ass and BS. Exactly, but that's not the mainstream. I feel like this LA show, it wasn't just full of sickos and wackos, bro. Like it was, it's more mainstream than that. And people are booing him because, yes, it has to do with that. And yes, it's like his son got off of a thing, DUI stuff that, you know, I don't need to drum it all up, but I brought it up before too. Brooke Hogan got shoved down our throats for a while in the mainstream just because this dude, I think it's an accumulation of stuff over the years. And
nothing positive has come out of Hulk recently. Like in the last decade, it's all lies and him just being a complete shill. Like people are just sick of Hogan, no matter what he's doing.
And here's the thing too, like what do people want, right? Can we never forgive people? You know, like, should we never forgive him for saying the N-word and he never, ever gets forgiven again and shame him? He should be executed and persecuted forever and him into the grave. No, I don't believe like we should forgive, you know, for sure. But that doesn't mean if I buy a ticket to a show, I'm not allowed to boo your stank ass out the building. If I don't want to see you, you know, that's America right there, bro. That's freedom of speech, brother. So
paid your money.
Yeah, exactly. So
and apparently a lot of money is what we're hearing.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you defend Hulk Hogan. Man, shut the fuck up. And his buddy's wife, but he was into that, right? So I think like his buddy wanted him, Bubba.
His buddy,
he's one of the corniest radio guys of all time. I cannot stand that dude. Anyways, though, speaking of Hulk cutting a promo, dude, he joined Pat McAfee, Jack. And shout out Pat McAfee Live. This is ESPN. Hopefully they're cool. We'll pause it up, Jack. But let's listen to this here. Hulkster's got something to say. Or maybe the Huckster. I can't tell. No.
And I am getting a heads up that one of the stars of last night's show is actually doing a live press conference. Let's head over to that right now. I believe Hulk Hogan is doing a live.
Yeah, and people in the chat are like, Hogan can kiss my black ass. And all the power to you, you know? Like,
yep.
Moose Knuckles like, nah, we're about, yeah, scumbag is, hey, and we're all entitled to that, you know? I'm just giving it for, because a lot of people are like, well, should we never forgive him? And it's like, yeah. Well, but like, also, if you say, fuck him, cool. If you forgive him, that's all right too. I can see that. And if you want to boo him, that's all right too. That's all I'm saying. Like, well, you got to understand
one thing. What about the other 17 that's happened in the last
that's what I mean, dude. People, what if we're just sick of the act? What if it's like, nah, I'm just tired of the whole. I don't want to see Ric Flair.
Hogan.
Yeah, I don't want to see Ric Flair wrestling either. I'm not saying I'm going to boo him. I'm probably going to woo him. But if someone's going to say he's going to wrestle a match, I'm going to show that on Twitter. Come on, bro. They bought their tickets. Let them. They can boo and cheer. And we'll get into more of that news. Let's listen to what Hulkster has to say here.
Live press conference to address everything that happened last night.
Hello and welcome to this press conference that I've called the day after arguably the greatest day in my professional career. Last night, tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of millions of people watched the Hulkster bring the house down on WWE RAW to usher in the Netflix era in the Intuit Dome.
Dude, he got it. Yeah, you have to throw in a jack, you know? You have to throw one in.
Greatest night of my life. Too. With that, I'd like to open it up to a couple questions.
Hi, Mr. Hulkster. This is Peter Penz from the Mark Times.
Yeah, I can tell you look like a Mark, son.
Thank you. I appreciate that, I guess. Booing was actually trending on X last night. I wasn't sure if you had any comments.
Booing was trending on X. And I'm telling you, man, the Hulkster stuff, well, let me tell you something, dude. People are just getting a kick out of this. This is like as mainstream as it gets. So seriously. A W for WWE actually, like getting the eyeballs, because it's not like a poor reflection on them. It's not like people were booing the WWE show. They're booing Hulkster shilling his beer. So I don't know, controversy afoot that's in the mainstream. People are clowning him. And it's like, yeah, that one segment drew some controversy, which, you know, all press is good press. No, but at the same time, it's not like it's bad press on WWE. It's like a memeable moment. It's not like this black eye on the industry. Yeah. It's just like, dude, look at Hogan shilling his beer for WWE still. Like, give it up, you know? God damn it.
Yeah. Comments about the almost opening that you received when you were out on the stage, sir. Thank you.
Well, yeah, if you think those were boos, I can tell you're a mark, okay? I've been doing this a long time, kid, and you get used to the Hulk Hogan. Now, I will admit, I heard a couple boos smattered across the crowd, and I'll be honest, I had no idea the people in LA hated Jimmy Hart the way they did. They took one look at him with his stringy hair, stupid sunglasses, and the way he was half-assed waving that flag around. And I should have expected it.
Dude, I love that this is on Pat McAfee Show. Yeah. It's just funny that, well, it's just in general, like, he just pokes fun at WWE whenever he wants, and they're cool with it. They just let him be him, and you got to let someone like Pat just be Pat, because Pat being Pat is money. Sheamus confirms he has signed a new 5-year WWE deal, and he'll be wrestling into his 50s, chat. So Sheamus confirms he signed a 5-year WWE deal, and he'll be wrestling into his 50s. What do you all think about that? And obviously, what is he going to go to AEW? And where were all the dirt sheets saying, oh, Sheamus might sign with AEW? They didn't even know it was up.
We didn't even get one of those fake All Elite graphics where it would be like,
what's his real name?
Well, no, his name on the Indies was Sheamus O'Shaughnessy, so I think he'd probably just do that like Christian Cage.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have a new metric that tracks sicko content creation and the declines, which correlates to declines and everything else in AEW. But yeah, no, we didn't even get the All Elite fake graphic. There you go, declines. Where else is he going to go? But also, like, good for Sheamus. I think that Sheamus, similar to The Miz, at some point in the near future, will kind of get his flowers as just being kind of recognized as a guy that was a workhorse, that was there for a lot of years when it wasn't so hot or cool to be there. And I think he's going to be incredibly valuable to helping out maybe with some NXT stuff, certainly developing some talent as they come up on the roster. It's not like this is a guy that has an ego that needs to get wins. I think he's shown that. So, like, props to him. I mean, I hope he got paid.
Yeah.
And talent, if we've learned one thing from the talent who have gone to AEW is that it's not necessarily all it's cracked up to be. And if it's going to cost you your legacy, like, why? Unless you need the money or unless you're just kind of greedy like that. Or whatever reason they go. I mean, maybe they just want to like wrestle a style in their 50s that like makes no sense. Shout out Copeland, but whatever floats your boat. I mean, do it. But like, I don't know, is it really worth tarnishing your kind of like, you've worked that hard to get to that point and you're going to tarnish it?
Roman, I've told you guys a million times on this show, when him or like Drew come out, women melt. They shriek in the buildings. Name a guy who's like shriekable in AEW. I'll wait. On the same level, if people want to compare the two in another company, I don't know. Here's a new WWE fan who is watching on Netflix, and there isn't just this. There's a million stories like this, but also, chat, you guys were here. There was hundreds of us watching PWT, listening to PWT Live Show as we watch Raw, and what was a big portion of the chat saying, yo, I am watching wrestling again because it's on Netflix. Yo, I just renewed my Netflix because WWE's on there now. We had like a bunch of people saying the same. Now there's a bunch of stories of women on social media being like, oh my God, I'm a WWE fan now and shit. So here's just, hey, I'm always right. Phil's always right. Phil don't miss. Netflix and Phil, anyone? I know, you know what I mean? Here we go.
Y'all, I literally have not watched wrestling since probably the 99 and the 2000. Baby, who is this? Who is this?
He's acknowledging.
Who
That is her new
that
trouble, Chief.
Hey, y'all. Netflix got my goofy ass.
Acknowledge me.
Oh my God, Netflix got my goofy. What did I tell y'all? Thirstcast for the ladies too here at PWT. We don't discriminate, okay? We know. Some more stuff from that evening. Pro wrestling is real. So this is actually like a Ken Kennedy shirt or like a Mr. Anderson shirt, whatever. And this was from Raw here, a kid wearing a Pro Wrestling is Real shirt. Or this is Netflix, NXT. Pardon me. I keep calling it NXT Netflix now every time I refer. So I don't know. This kid's wearing a Pro Wrestling is Real tee, though, which is amazing. And I think this is actually Ken Anderson, like sells these. You guys know Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually his tee. But dude, The Rock came out freestyled on NXT. I'm sure a bunch of sickos are mad about that. We're going to talk about the numbers in just a minute.
Oh, man.
However, in the building, they had Nikki Bella, who confirmed all prior issues with WWE have been squashed. She wasn't there with her sister, though. We know because Tony Khan is going to literally leave his company to the Danielson fucking family if anything happens to him. He said as much, and also he's backing up the Brinks truck for Danielson. Danielson clearly believes in that mission statement as far as Tony Khan's concerned. But she says, we had a rocky road with WWE. All is well. We've all made up. We knew she would. And, of course, you have to go out there and troll and say, like, but Nikki Garcia to AEW, you know, because everyone was saying that. Like I told y'all, man. No, Brie was not there, at least not on camera. And Nikki, she does stuff with Netflix too. So we're talking about this picture is probably just some thirst trap picture that Wrestling World CC scrounged up off the.
I think that's what Nikki wore to the event, the red jumpsuit or whatever. Like, is that
it that I'm wrong? I don't know.
Is that I'm asking if that's a picture from the hotel. And the reason I bring this up is because I would bet dollars to donuts Brie was asked to not appear.
No way. You think, and then her sister still did.
I think Brie knows she couldn't appear. I think, look, there's a lot of stuff that I think has become very obvious about Tony Khan.
Yeah.
He is petty, and he is sensitive, and he is softer than Charmin's. So, like, I don't even know. Maybe Brie didn't have to be asked to not do it, but maybe it's one of those things where, like, Brian and Brie are like, you can't appear. Like, he'll lose it and melt down, and like people on the internet will go nuts. And so,
but
just
Brie too. Like, he don't own Brie.
Could you imagine? Yo, how would you and I have made jokes if she would have appeared on the Netflix thing after appearing? Like, that was the big focal point of All In, was him winning and the family being there.
Yeah. That's
like we would have dunked
Yeah.
we would have dunked on that so
I guess
hard.
you're right. See, I forgot that. I'm a dummy because it's like there's so much wrestling to consume. You got to poop little things out. I forgot they had her come on like AEW pay-per-view.
They did the whole sit down with Renee.
Yeah.
So could you imagine? So like, I'm not gonna say that Tony. I'm not gonna speculate that Tony asked or AEW asked. I'm just going to put out there that I would not be shocked if somewhere along the lines there was like a decision between the Danielsons of like, yeah, you kind of can't, because how weird is it to not be there with her sister when they're in business, like together doing stuff, content creation, all that, and like Netflix.
Tony Khan is softer than Cha Cha Cha, Charmin. Yeah, I mean, you're repeating the sentiments here of MJ, who I believe said that as well.
I've made some stupid graphics about it. I wonder if they'll block me again.
Yeah, dude, you got fucking blocked by. It's funny because you make this new account, WrestleGraphs, that gets blocked by AEW immediately. No,
not WrestleGraphs. Yeah, confusing. I personally got blocked by AEW.
This guy's Tony Khan.
Because I would post graphs on their tweets about talent, showing that their talent actually has not done anything for them. And they did not. And also tag their executives and other stuff.
So don't you think by doing that they just think you're like just trolling, and they just think, oh, he's bad.
They know who I am.
Like he's trying to troll. But this is what I'm saying. Like, do you think that's the approach? Do you think there's a lot of thought into it, or do you think they're like, oh, he's just trolling too much or whatever? Do you think
from what I've been told by others who maybe are speculating or they claim to have friends in the company, they know who I am. Mookie, Chris Harrington from WrestleNomics, the original founder of WrestleNomics, absolutely knows who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
And they are very, very scared by the fact that I am not an idiot. Not just that, their talent are very upset by being exposed. Like, I embarrassed them when it came to the all-in pre-sale stuff and not promoting it, which, I mean, they embarrassed themselves, but I really highlighted it. And that combined with some of the graph stuff showing just like how poorly certain talent have done with retaining viewers really upset the talent, and they don't want that stuff being posted under their tweets, which is a weird thing of censorship that I won't get into.
Okay, well, here, I got to bring this up. Rated R Legend, but Legend written with Edge in the middle.
It's a better name than he is now.
Yeah, I'm trying to read this. So Rated R Legend with Legend spelt Edge. You know what I'm saying? Like Edge instead of Edge, and like it's misspelled, but the word Edge in there. And they didn't do what we thought. So this is why I'm bringing it. They didn't do what we thought and made the Edge really big letters. Nikki Bella confirms all prior issues with WWE have been squashed. So you're bringing up the Brie Bella thing. I completely, now you've convinced me she may have been there and they may have said, don't come on camera. However, I don't know if WWE would have said that. It's more of like a AEW Tony Khan thing.
I think a better
camera. It would be a meltdown for him.
She respectfully did not appear.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think anyone, because that's what all the AEW people say. Like no one explicitly tells you, but like it's expected. That's sort of like what Willie Mack was saying. Nobody explicitly told me I can't do GCW, but it's sort of implied. Like Daniel said, oh, it'd be a bad look, so I kind of canceled, and then it's drummed up. So I could totally see it being that way as well. A respectful bow out. However, do you think the WWE brings Nikki back on her own, or they just did it? They just showed her on TV. Do you think there's a run in there? Or here's the thing I want to point out. She has a relationship with Netflix. Okay. So she hosts on Netflix, like a hot dog eating contest she did, and like whatever. So, and she's been using the Garcia name. Do you think WWE brings her in as Nikki Garcia? Do you think she'll just appear in the Rumble? Do you think it's anything even like that? Or it's just, hey, Nikki, Netflix, WWE, squash it. Vince is gone. It's Triple H. He'd treat you better, like that sort of thing.
Well, you forget, like, there's a lot of baggage there when it comes to who the Bella's mother married.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so like there's a lot there that we don't have to get into. I think that a Rumble appearance is very likely. I think it's done to promote this Nikki and Brie show if that's on Netflix. You're asking the wrong guy if I think that
they have a show on Netflix.
Well, what's this Nikki and Brie show?
This is, I think, their podcast.
I think it's their podcast.
Oh, their podcast. Well,
okay, but wait though. Total Bella's Drew, yeah. Man.
Like, have we ever seen them do reality shows that have been successful? Does Netflix do reality shows? I think that there's a lot of synergy there.
Yeah, I called that a long time ago with the reality shows. I was like, dude, wait, we're going to get like live reality shows like Big Brother back in the day, but like live reality on Netflix. I don't know, whatever. That's another conversation.
Yeah,
what were you saying?
It's a great by the way, it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking way ahead here, and it comes full circle.
The puck's going, right? We know they're doing a Drive for Survive type show. And if you look further out than that, like you have made for TV talent that while they can't all be getting a spot on Raw, might very well wind up in some reality competition on Netflix watched by people that don't even watch wrestling, which only heightens their profiles. And this is the power of that synergy. But hey, I think I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I think Bryan Danielson's back to WWE before it's all said and done. So, wouldn't shock me if Brie paves the way. It's business, right?
Yeah. A new era. Who watched NXT New Year's Evil?
Oh, hell yeah.
I won't review the show because maybe I'll talk about it more with Marie tomorrow and break it down. But it was just a phenomenal show, and I was enjoying it on Netflix. And I was a little bit behind when I started it. So then I could just fast forwarded through the ad parts, and then I was all caught up to the live portion, like 20 minutes into it or whatever, because I was struggling. So I was pissed at first with Netflix, but then once I figured it out, it was all good. And I caught up to the live like quickly. And we got Julia Gulia and Oba Femi, who everyone thought was main roster bound. They are the champions. Yeah. And it was a big full building. I don't know if it was big and full, but they do like the Grammys there. It's a decent sized place actually. And it was like pretty packed. Crowd was lit. The Rock came back to NXT, actually his first time ever in NXT, freestyled the whole promo. It was phenomenal. But the new era, like they were talking about it too. I don't get it. I thought Trick was kind of the new era guy, but Femi, they're like, no, we got to ride it out with him. And so I'm looking forward to it. Some people were pissed Roxanne dropped, but I think you got to bring Roxanne to the main roster. Like she's out wrestling girls. I'm not trying to talk on anyone, but there's some girls on the main roster where it's like, if they're up there, Roxanne's got to be up there already. Like there's so many, the women on the show completely obliterated and destroyed. So that was very fun. Did you watch it, Jake? Fun show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Quick,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. I mean, Vacarev cooked. She is just my absolute favorite.
Right.
And the women really stole the show.
100%.
I'm not all about four ways, but that four way was fun. And that
the
shit.
whole show, it really flew by. Like all of a sudden, I was like, "Wait, the main event started." Like when Trick started coming out, I'm like, "Oh, already? Okay, cool."
Yeah.
Like
and
that,
they,
you can't
and
ask for
they
much more now on the show.
Oh, sorry, Jake. I was just gonna say though, they left. Like Lexus King got left out though. He had the Heritage Cup. He wasn't part of the new era thing. Whatever.
Well, I guess part of the new era, but he won.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool for him.
That match for me was I'm just not into those.
Yeah, I'm not really either, but I'm into Lexus King a lot. Like I just think his story is cool, and I just think it's like he's the guy who can show people, like the young people that are joining NXT or that are on AEW, like, oh, maybe I should go to NXT. He was nothing here, and now he's a star.
And Ren and Dempsey are fun to watch on the other side of that with the No Quarter Catch crew. And also, how about Ethan Page getting the rub from The Rock, being like, I'll see you on the main roster. Bro, what the? Oh my God, I told you, dude, like, give this guy a chance. Let him talk. He's got size. I mean, come on now. Boom. He's cooking now in WWE, and they obviously would not have let that happen if everyone weren't going to strap the rocket to his ass. But anyways, Hulk Hogan reportedly was instantly disappointed by the reaction to him on Raw, but there's discussion to have him back on TV as a heel, brother. Plans are for Hogan to be a bad guy again and to help out a future storyline with another wrestler. Now,
so
I feel like Hogan's...
One thing is that source. They're always kind of called the Daily Fail. They used to be good, and then they kind of, I don't know if they still are. They've changed in years. I don't pay much attention. It's just that was my first inclining, like what is it like? The instant reaction to it. That's what I think. And Cultaholic kind of scares me too. But I'm also not opposed to this being what they do.
Well, here's what I thought instantly was Hulk Hogan's people leaked this out to sort of like spin a narrative in his favor. And I could see that. But it's not some dirt sheet, though. It's like an actual publication. So I was like, why did no dirt sheet pick this up?
Though.
Because Hogan's trying to get it out there and his PR team are trying to change the narrative on that. So whatever, either way, he can come back as a heel. I'll drop the leg on Macho Man, brother. So this girl absolutely folded when Roman Reigns looked her way, right? So let's check this out, man. Another example, live in the flesh. So we saw someone at home being like, God damn, I'm watching WWE. Now here's a lady in the crowd just schmelting. Women
That's
just
awesome.
screaming, moms just, you know what I mean? So, hey, he's got that effect. It's on Netflix. He's in the best shape of his life, by the way. Period.
Seriously.
Like, dude, he's in the best shape of his life. This is only that's going viral now on like female things. You got this lady here up in Adams. I mean, we're seeing it, man. It's really getting mainstream again. It is mainstream again. For instance, Variety reporting that NXT New Year's Evil event on Jan 7 drew the WWE developmental brand's biggest TV viewership in over 5 years. Bang. They did like almost 1 million. And so last night, average viewers 957, almost 1 million. The key demo 0.25. Someone was saying NXT beat Raw. Is that true? Or
I mean, I think people are saying that based on like that 664 number that was reported from Samba. I don't think anybody's speaking. At least, I mean, I wouldn't think so. That's because that 664 number from Samba is the only really number that I've actually seen. And so, sickos are going to go with that. I don't know who said that, but I would just assume they were a sicko.
No, you're right. I'm just thinking I'm racking my brain around. No, well, everyone, that was sorry. We got nothing more to add. Round of applause for our WWE news. And speaking of sickos, round of applause for WWE news, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go.